Hi, guys. Welcome back. If you're new to the show, please think about subscribing and definitely hit the thumbs up button so it can push this video out so more and more people can watch it. Today, we're going to be listening to people that think we're being distracted. Stay focused.
Let's have a look at this drone thing. Why New Jersey? Why only the eastern U.S.? Why not Nevada, Washington, or anywhere else that has a major base that keeps top secret information? Why are they not over Area 51? Because this whole thing is a con. You're all being conned. I don't buy into any of this BS about drones are from an alternate universe. You don't hear about them in Canada, mind you. There's nothing much here they'd want, except maybe to examine Trudeau. You don't hear about them in Europe. You don't hear about them in Russia or anywhere else. Think about it, people. It's a distraction. They want to keep you looking away from something.
Yeah, he brings up a good point. If they were from another dimension or another galaxy, I think they would want to see all of the planet, not just that little area over New Jersey and a couple of bases.
The fact that our government on national news is trying to convince us that they don't know what these drones are. You can figure out when a pin drops halfway across the world and exactly what it looks like and where it dropped. But you can't tell us what these drones are. But you're also telling us not to worry, that it's not a risk and we shouldn't be worried and it's not a threat. But you don't know what it is. And then try to reassure us you're not putting your pens down, you're figuring it out. I feel like if the government's allowed to make these bullshit excuses, we should be able to do them at work too. I should be able to go to work and be like, I haven't quite figured that out. I have all the resources to do so, but I just haven't figured it out yet, so don't worry. I'd be fired. There'd be an action plan, but the government's totally fine. You're telling me you don't know what they are. What are you distracting us from?
Did you ever see that movie Argo? Whenever the government does anything that's top secret, for whatever reason, they usually refuse to release it and admit to it for decades and decades and decades. Do they know what these things are? Yes. Are they telling you the truth when they say you don't need to worry about it? Yes. Why? Because they're obviously ours. Put the story together.
Taking out a whole lot of people and destroying our power base, yeah, I can see them trying to do that. Absolutely. That part is coming. Please believe it, boys and girls, 2025 is about to be on and popping on a whole nother level. The drones, some of it is distraction. Some of it is to keep you living in fear. But it's the other ones that I worry about. What are they looking for? I will leave you with this. There's tons of information out there that the drones that we should be paying attention to and worrying about are the drones that carry equipment that can find nuclear radiated material, right? We have nuke sniffing subs and plane stuff like that, but this is more like they look for something on the ground, right? Something that you can't normally find that's encased, right? So when you look at the companies that make these types of drones and equipment for these drones, a lot of them are saying the same thing, if they're saying something at all. Some of them are keeping real quiet. There's a few others that say, yeah, that's exactly what that is. Now, when I listen to that, I say, yeah, okay, I can see why the president and Kamala ran back to D.C. I can see why Trump said, you know what, I'm not going to Westminster, I'm going to chill. I can see why they fly at night and not during the day. 1 Peter 4:17, for the time has come, this judgment must begin at the house of God. If it first begin with us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And let's face it, we look around, we are the premier Christian country, or have been. Ain't been that country lately. But if you go back to Joel in Acts 2:19, when he says God will show them the signs and wonders in the sky, the last part of that verse talks about columns of smoke and fire. Columns of smoke and fire. Pay attention, boys and girls. We ain't even got started yet. Last Days Navigator.
You agree with the Last Days Navigator? Do you think we're in the end of times? If so, let us know down below. I don't know. All right, let's let's hear what this one says.
You know, this whole drone thing that's going around,
Right?
I honestly believe that it's a distraction for something
No.
that is going on, something bigger that's going on. They're trying to keep
Okay.
our attention off of.
Like?
For example, like Kamala. Where'd she go? Has anybody seen her? She just said poof. She just disappeared in the wind, didn't she?
Wait a minute. I saw her at the Jimmy Carter funeral sitting right in front of Donald Trump, I believe. If you guys saw that, let me know. By hitting the thumbs up, maybe share it with a friend. Tell your mom to watch.
She damn sure didn't come say thank you to anybody that voted for her. She didn't say thank you to anybody that supported her. Yeah, and y'all really thought she cared for you. She ran and hid, guys. Where is she? But like I was saying, I'm not exactly 100% sure what they're trying to distract us from. But just keep that in mind, guys. There's bigger things going on out there other than these drones. And I can promise you the drones are just a distraction.
Okay, so maybe she's right. Maybe there is a distraction going on. Where was Kamala before that Jimmy Carter funeral?
Alright guys, let me talk about something that's been bothering me ever since I posted the video of what's been going on in 2024 and how it wants to end with a bang. Alright, so before we were seeing drone videos everywhere. Like everywhere you looked, there was somebody posting either a video of a drone or maybe what that drone could be.
Okay.
Everyone was so curious about what the craze could be, and now it's kind of just like fallen off. But what I'm really curious about is if the government knew about what the drones were, but they weren't going to say it because they were letting the drones be a distraction for something bigger, something else that was happening around us that we weren't seeing. Now, for those of you guys who know me or don't know me, I love conspiracy theories. So some conspiracy theorists believe that the drones were a diversion from something else that was happening. And I kind of agree with that as well. Could the big drone craze have been a diversion from something else that is way bigger that is happening in the world, but we don't see it because we're not focused on the bigger picture. We're focused on the now and what's happening and what's being brought to our attention, almost like forcefully.
Wouldn't it be cool if someone gave us an idea of what we're being distracted from? Everybody says it's a distraction. Okay, give us some answers. What are we supposed to be looking at here?
I think everybody needs to calm down. If there was an issue, if they were going to hurt somebody, they would have already done it. Beam me up, Scotty. When we were little, or when some of us were little, we wanted to be up there with E.T. and Star Trek and Han Solo. Like, we're fine, y'all. They haven't hurt anybody yet. Pretty sure they're just trying to figure out what's going on with the nuclear stuff and our radiation. And
We're just trying to figure out where in Jersey they want to stay. And when all those trees and everything gets out of the way in LA, they're going to figure out some land that they want over there too. That's right. Believe it or not, the aliens want to live in this prime real estate just as bad as you and me, and they're going to get rid of us, and they're going to be living in our houses.
everybody needs to calm down. This is not like... It's a distraction is what it is. The one thing the United States of America is good at doing is distracting us while there's other stuff going on. So what you should be doing while this is going on is looking at the other news and seeing what's going on, because I've been looking at that and it's not cute.
So what if the distraction right now isn't the California fires? What if it's the idea that nobody's talking about? What if these fires are being started by terrorists? What a great way to attack a country, right? Just burn everything down, because the real aftermath is what's going to happen to all these people. They didn't all have enough money to go get a new place to live. What's going to happen with them? It is kind of like a giant experiment out in California.
Are you really going to sit here and tell me that we can button up an assassination like that? We got the manifesto, we got the money, we got the literal gun, the smoking gun. Yet we have no clue what's flying above us in New Jersey. No idea. Can't have no clue. How? What are they distracting us from? What's the shiny object? That's the shiny object. What are we being distracted from? What's going on? I mean, obviously we're always being distracted by their nefarious activity, whoever they are. But what do you think? Let me know.
Why do people only make 30-second videos? There seems like there's so much more to be said than whatever you can say in 30 seconds. This one's 39 seconds.
So I got to thinking about it, and like, I am super obsessed with these orb drone videos. Like, and I think it's because I can see them outside my house every night. But do you guys think that this is all just a distraction and that they are putting those up there so we will not look at what they're doing? I don't know. I just wonder if I'm just falling for their trap.
She's your Aunt Patty. You go up to her and you go, Aunt Patty, why are you making those TikTok videos? Do you really care about those drones? And she's like, I don't know. I just like to have fun, Jimmy.
All these drones, sightings, a distraction. They are trying to deceive us. Experiment with us and see how we will react, how we're reacting. I'm gonna go to yoga and try to get some downloads to see what comes through.
Hey, that sounds like a really good plan. That really does. Go get your yoga in.
Look, don't spend your days fighting fire with losers. It will exhaust you. You know how many jealous people there are in the world? Racist people, con artists, manipulative people, people who get out of bed and just want to distract you and disrupt your inner peace. That's their mission because they don't have any goals in life. You know what I'm saying? The neighborhood harassment from the neighbors. It's a distraction. You know what I'm saying? The gang stalkers out in traffic. Everybody serve their purpose. Their purpose is to distract you and to exhaust you and take you away from your higher calling and your evolution and your self-mastery. By doing these things, you ain't recording a new song, you ain't read a new book, you ain't covered new grounds, you ain't done no traveling, you spending all your days worried about these losers, you know what I mean? Let them be. They walk in karma, you know what I mean? Let the Lord deal with them. Wipe the dirt off your boots and don't look back. Let God handle them. They already defeated, man. Fall back. Get back to the business. Get back to what's important to you, baby. I love you.
Now that was a darn good video. He did that in 1 minute, 2 seconds, and I loved darn near every bit of advice he gave there. It was awesome. Great job. All right. Remember what I told you about girls with the nose rings. You can't listen to them. They're crazy. Let's hear what this one has to say.
Okay, I'm annoyed. Okay, number one, I'm annoyed because all this drone bullshit is definitely just to distract us, okay? We've had drones before. The FBI said it was nothing to worry about. Why are we lingering other than to distract everybody from the fact that we're finally making headway in terms of healthcare? Second reason why I'm annoyed is that on the news, well, first of all, obviously the news, like, only says what they want to say, which is just ridiculous. But it's nothing new. What I'm annoyed about is the fact that all of these, like, agents and, like, police force workers and blah, 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 they're all like, our number one concern right now is that so many people are condoning violence. You are worried about people condoning violence coming from an academy where all you do is be violent. and we're not concerned about the fact that the American people are upset that we keep getting abused and used by the elite. We're not upset about that. Our concern is not about the state of healthcare in this country, no. Because we're going to ignore the actual problem, right? The same way that we did with Black Lives Matter, okay? And we're going to distract, we're going to pivot to some bullshit. Like, please stop. These people need to get on TikTok. They need to go and, like, get a freaking education. I don't even know what else to say. Because how can you truly sit there and be like, I don't understand why so many people are condoning violence when you won't do anything about gun regulation in this country? When police brutality is, like, kicking. You didn't even say anything about that when Trump had an attempt on, you know. This is literally only to distract us from the actual problem and try to pivot. And we're letting them do it. Like, can we, the younger generation, like Gen Z, can we start our own news media company? I know I know it's much harder than it is said, but like, can we please, beyond BuzzFeed, beyond like those extremely, like, just a media to present the facts, present what is going on, how people are actually genuinely feeling.
So the truth is, the government doesn't need to put drones up to distract you. TikTok has been distracting you for years. And as a matter of fact, this video montage was actually all just a big distraction. You've eaten horribly for the last 50 meals in a row. You never work out anymore. You're way fatter and more out of shape than you've ever been. You barely drink water, and when you do, it's ice cubes in your soda. You're slowly but surely dying, just like everybody else around you. But here's the thing. There's a piece of you that wants to live a long time so you can be in the lives of your children, your grandchildren, and dare I say, even your great-grandchildren. So if you really feel that way, quit being distracted. Go get your shoes. Come on and walk with me. Let's go. Hi, Venters. How are you? All right, so this was one of those days where I was so busy at work that I wasn't really even able to look at my phone and watch any YouTube videos. Not that I watch YouTube videos while I'm at work. Okay, maybe a couple, but I wasn't able to today because it was just too busy. What's that mean, Jesse? Well, Bob, what it means is we're going to have to wing it. So I thought, what better thing to talk about going into week 3 of our 90-day walking challenge than a magical word that I like to call Kaizen. Jesse, when you talk like that, it sounds like you made up the word. Well, technically speaking, this world could all be in my imagination, and you guys might just be the background characters of my world, which would make me God, not Jesus. Forgive me, Jesus. Guys, Kaizen is from the Japanese, and it basically means baby steps. And the whole thought behind it is, if I were to tell you guys right from day one that we're all going to give up sugar immediately, we're all going to drink nothing but water, we're all going to take 2 to 3 half-hour walks during the day, and we'll go easy on you and let you make it 1 hour walk. Those are things that make things harder to do, not easier to do. Kaizen is the idea of baby steps. Let's start off with a 10-minute walk so that you can start to see that it's actually relaxing, and a 10-minute walk can be extremely pleasant. Now, you might say to yourself, Jesse, a 10-minute walk is worthless, and you would be right. A 10-minute walk is not going to help you do a darn thing with your health. It's really not, other than just giving you a break from the monotony of the day, right? But if we start off with a 10-minute walk, AZ Raccoon and Lily and Sean, and we slowly progress and say, hey, now we're 3 weeks into things, why don't we slowly progress, and instead of a 10-minute walk, how about we do a 20-minute walk? Or dare I say, a 30-minute walk? Because if we go from walking 0 minutes out of the day to 10 minutes a day, and then we take a little jump up to 20 or 30 minutes a day, all of a sudden, we've got a little bit of a workout routine. It doesn't feel like work, because I think we can all agree there's something magical about walking. It doesn't feel like work at all. But if instead of walking on our legs, we were in a handstand position, and we were walking across, distances with our arms, your arms would feel like they were going to fall off. Something incredible happens with human legs. They are about the most strong thing in the world from the standpoint of you and I can walk for hours on end. Now, here's the problem if you try to jump into Six-Pack Sean's routine. What's Six-Pack Sean's routine? Bob, you know what Six-Pack Sean does. He likes to go on 4 and 5 hour walks. The reason that you can't do that, and I probably can't do it either, is the first thing it's going to do, and I'm sure Sean can attest to this, it's going to give you a blister on your foot. And whenever you have blisters on your feet, it makes walking no longer relaxing and enjoyable. It makes it miserable. So do you want to be able to work up to the point where you can walk for 2, 3, 4 hours in one pop? Sure, but the operative word there is work up to that. We're not to that point yet. We're to the point now where if you're still walking for 10 or 15 minutes, I would like you to bump it up to 30 minutes. If you're still drinking 3 or 4 sodas a day, I'd like you to consider to try to make that 3 or 4 sodas a week. Just a little jump. And the jump can be as small or as big as you want, and I recommend going small. So if you're literally drinking 3 or 4 sodas a day, hopefully at this point, you've already cut it down to just 2 a day. And now going forward into this second month, I would like you to just make it 1 soda a day. Look forward to having it with your lunch. Look forward to having it with your dinner. Or heck, if you're real strong, you can have it after your dinner as a dessert, okay? But what we have to do is we have to continuously move towards our goal. Otherwise, we're never going to hit that goal. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase our walk from 10, 15, 20 minutes up to a half hour. Well, what if I'm already up to half an hour? Great question, Bob. That's where I want you to start thinking about your lunch period. If you work, more than likely sometime in the middle of your day, you take a half hour to 1 hour break for your lunch. If you take a half hour break, I think we can all agree it doesn't take a full half hour to finish your sandwich or whatever you're eating. You probably can finish that bad boy in 15 minutes. So what I want you to contemplate, because you don't have to do this by any means, but I want you to contemplate the idea of adding a 10 or 15 minute walk during your lunch break. Think about what this does. If a half hour walk burns about 150 calories, sometimes less if you're not taking a super brisk walk, right? That means that a 15-minute walk is gonna burn about 75 calories. So if you're enjoying that 1 Coke with your lunch every day, simply by taking a 15-minute walk, you're gonna be able to burn about half of those calories that Coke put into your body instantly. Now, you might not think that's a big deal, but let's multiply it out. If you're taking a 15-minute walk at your lunch 5 days a week that you work, now all of a sudden that's about an hour and 15 minutes that you're walking in addition to the walk that you do either in the morning or in the afternoon after you get home from work anyway. What that's going to do is over the course of a month, that's going to kill another 400, 500, 600 calories. Burn them, excuse me. I know we don't like to use the word kill on this website. So we're going to say burn, right? If you're already taking a 15-minute walk at lunch, then what I'd like you to consider doing is in your normal half-hour walk that you take after work, let's add a little homework assignment to that. How do we do that? We're just going to add 15 minutes to the end of it. We got to keep moving forward, and every time we do, we're going to be rewarded for it. You might not see that reward at first, but ultimately we're going to get to the point where instead of a half hour a day, we're walking a little bit closer to an hour a day. And believe me, an hour worth of walking is better than a half hour. But if it's not possible for you to do that, don't stress. If you literally don't have any more time in your day to do it, then what we can do is go back to that soda and try to get rid of it, or try to get rid of some of those sodas. Let's take a look at your donuts and your candy bars and your sweets that you eat all the time. At Christmas time, one of my coworkers sent me a box of 75. At first I thought it was 150, but they sent me 75 Rice Krispie treats. And that really screwed me. Because it's really hard not to eat a Rice Krispie treat when it's right there at your fingertips. But I've gotten rid of all those. I gave some to family members. I ate way too many more than I should have, but those are gone now. Out of sight, out of mind. I gotta be honest, I wish I had one more. God, I love Rice Krispie treats. But anyway, out of sight, out of mind. Now what I'm doing is I'm eating less sugar than I was through the holiday season. I'm starting to walk more, because I think you guys know after I finish this walk, I go to Planet Fitness and I walk some additional time. And I'm not drinking soda, I always drink water. By the way, the things I drink are very boring. I usually drink unsweetened tea or water. And I can still gain weight by eating junk food. So that's why it's important that you try to keep moving in the right direction. Kaizen states that baby steps after a while equate to explosive growth. We can do this with our actual steps. I've been walking with you guys for about 8 minutes now, and look how far we've come. If you've been walking with me every day for the last 300 days, my goodness, we have literally walked together for hundreds of miles. That's fascinating. That's really something to be impressed by. But again, it takes us up to this question. How can we take it that next step without it making us want to quit? So let me give you a scenario where you might want to quit. You've been walking, you've been avoiding sugar, you've been drinking water, and now you want to start running. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great way to go. But if you start running and you want to quit, don't quit. Just go right back to walking. It's very important that you stay active each and every day. Have any of you heard that the new cigarettes is sitting at your desk? If you sit at your desk for 8 hours a day, it's the equivalent of smoking. I don't know if it's the equivalent of smoking a pack like they make it sound, but no matter how you break it down, sitting at that desk all day is definitely not good for you. So again, if you can take a walk in the morning, it's going to get you woken up and prepared for your workday. If you can break the monotony of the workday by taking a walk at lunch, it's going to start eliminating some of those calories that you're taking in at that lunch break. If you can come home, take a little bit of a walk before you settle in for the evening, well, now all of a sudden, Venter, you're a calorie burning machine. And if you, me, and all the other Venters are calorie burning machines, guess what? We're going to actually start winning this battle of the bulge, so to speak, right? For a couple of you, you might have been walking with me for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And you might be wondering, Jesse, you never really talk about weight loss. When am I going to actually start losing some weight? The answer is not now. You're usually going to start to lose weight about 45 to 60 days in to our walking challenge. I don't know why it's that way. I wish that it wasn't that way. I wish we could walk and just see instant results. But I got to be honest with you, it just doesn't work that way. It takes 45 to 60 days before you start to lose anything. And here's the scary thing. Some people during that 45 to 60 days actually gain a pound or 2. So the best way to really gauge where you're at is feel your waist. Do your pants and shorts feel tighter than normal? Or do they feel comfortable, maybe even a little loose? Because before you lose a single pound, you're probably actually going to start losing some inches. Remember what I said earlier, that if we were walking on our hands, we would be exhausted because you would see how much your legs do for us each day? When you're walking, your legs can walk forever and they don't really get sore. They just don't. Now, don't get me wrong, if you walk for 10 hours, you're going to feel miserable, but we're talking about a half-hour walk. When you're walking, there's a good chance that your leg muscles are tightening, right? And they're actually getting stronger. They don't get much stronger because it's not like you weigh 5,000 pounds or anything, but they're getting stronger. So even though you weigh the exact same weight If you go from a waist size 38 to a waist size 36, you automatically know you're moving in the right direction. Another positive sign that you might start to notice as we reach into the end of our first month here walking together, you might start to notice that you're sleeping a little bit better. You might start to notice that your moods aren't so up and down. You're able to kind of enjoy the day. And if you breathe through your nose, you'll find that you enjoy your walk. Why do I say that? Well, when you're talking all the darn time like me, I'm breathing constantly through my mouth. But in your case, hopefully you're doing a lot of nose breathing and you're actually calming down your whole system. You're just relaxed and you're really into a nice stride and you're really walking really well. As a matter of fact, take a look at how fast you're walking now, because there's a good chance that when you first started walking, you were probably a heck of a lot slower. It's almost like you can't help but start to walk faster. It's your body. Your body is getting used to moving again. This is a school that I went to as a kid. Literally, 40 years ago, I went to this school. Love this school. The kids in this school know something instinctually that we've all forgotten. The reason kids are small and skinny, according to science, is because they have this fast-burning metabolism. But I think that's kind of BS. I think the real reason that kids are skinny is because they actually move a lot. They play. They're playing foursquare. They're playing basketball. They're playing two-hand touch football. They're playing tetherball. Meanwhile, you and I, we used to play those games 40 years ago, but guess what we're doing now? Nothing. We're sitting at our desk for 8 hours a day, and it's literally killing us. So even though I don't expect you to go get a foursquare ball and start bouncing a ball like a kid, I do expect you to start taking advantage of what kids do instinctually, and that's getting up and moving. And by the way, do we blame a fast metabolism on the kid that's overweight because he or she doesn't do these activities? No. We say, Bob, put down your cell phone and go play outside with the kids. And then Bob says, Mom, nobody's outside playing. Everybody's on their cell phone. And that's where you start to realize Bob, when he gets to be 30 or 40, he's going to be so overweight because he never tried walking. So again, keep walking, keep moving. We're going to take a book out of the student's handbook, and we're going to learn how to lose weight the same way we did when we were young. What's that mean, Jesse? Well, I don't know about you guys, but every day that I attended this school, my mom never gave me a ride. It was too close for the bus to pick me up. The only way I could get to school was to walk. Yes, I had a bike, but I never used it, at least not very much. Predominantly speaking, I walked every day, and many of you did as well. And if you think about it, it takes you 10 or 15 minutes to walk to school. And then during the school day, you usually had, 2 or 3 recesses, including lunch? And what would you do at that time? You would sweat and play and burn off the calories that you just ate at lunch. This is going to be no different. We're going to start walking at lunch. We're going to start walking to work in the morning. What I mean by that is you're going to take a walk around the neighborhood, ending at your car. You're going to get in your car and go to work. After you get home from work, you're going to make it a goal to take another little 15 or 20-minute walk. These are the steps that make this plan work. Kaizen, baby steps. Every little baby step you take takes you closer to the goal. I know a lot of you are thinking, holy moly, this 20-minute walk each day is easy. Is this all I have to do? It's one of those things that if you do just walk for 20 minutes a day, it brings a positivity to your life because now you have a little hobby, but it doesn't really help your health as much as we would like. The key to helping your health and the key for me to be more healthy is we got to get rid of the junk food. Let's get rid of the junk food together, because if you feel like you're the only one doing it, you feel miserable. This time next month, we're going to do some more Kaizen. What do you mean, Jesse? Well, what we'll do is we'll all join the 730 Club together. The 730 Club, we couldn't use 700 Club, it's already taken. The 730 Club is where you and I are going to agree that after 7:30, we're going to turn off the food spigot and we're not going to eat any more food for the evening. We're also next month going to try to go from 1 or 2 sodas left in our daily feedings. We're going to try to eliminate that down to 0. And it's going to create a situation where we slowly start to lose weight, we slowly start to gain muscle, and it's going to have a multiplicative effect, and it's going to be huge. Even with walking, if I were to tell you, hey, we're going to walk for a half hour a day for the rest of our lives, it would make many of us want to quit. But now that you've been walking every day with me for 20 days or however long it's been, 15 days, you can start to see that, hey, this walking thing isn't really that big of a deal. And Jesse's putting us down a pathway where we have a plan. And if we slowly but surely follow this plan, we're going to slowly but surely walk from being medium-sized to overweight versions of ourselves to medium-sized to skinny versions of ourselves. Will we ever get high school skinny, Sean, Mala, Lily? Probably not. But if we keep working towards it, anything is possible. And by the way, I was 129 pounds when I was a senior in high school. I was built like one of the petite girls, if you know what I mean. There's not a single piece of me that wants to get that small. Where I feel best is when I'm right there around 160 pounds. And I'm not there right now. More than likely, you don't necessarily want to be 120 pounds either. How good would you feel if you could just lose 20 or 30 pounds and get back to your 140s or 150s? So that's the goal, and this is how we're going to get there together as a team. I can do this, you can do this, we can do this, let's do this. In case you're wondering, what about if I've been walking for years and years and years? Well, you can always Kaizen up. You can start to get a gym membership, and you can start to add weightlifting. There's this thing out there that I like to do called calisthenics. You can start doing lunges and squats and push-ups. You can go to Target and buy yourself some $10 dumbbells, and you can start lifting the dumbbells with your arms. There's so many ways that we can take it up a notch. And that's really all weight loss is doing. It's taking it up a notch, but it's not just working out more, it's also eating better. So again, if we look at it like, hey, I'm not going to drink soda ever again, I'm not going to eat sweets ever again, I'm just going to drink water from here on out, and I'm going to walk for 5 hours a day. Guys, that's going to lead to burnout. You're a human being. You've got a birthday every year. You've got Thanksgiving and Christmas every year. If you're married, you've got anniversaries every year. Those are all moments where your family members are going to want to go out and celebrate. How do Americans celebrate? We drink wine, we drink beer, we drink sodas, we eat cake, we have a good time, we skip working out, right? Here's the thing. In the past, that's what you would do, and you wouldn't walk, you wouldn't drink water, you would eat a lot of junk food. Now, we're still going to enjoy those days when they happen, but we're not just going to sit there and do nothing about it. We're immediately going to walk. Remember the 2/3 rule. If our 3 rules are walk, drink water, and avoid sugar, and if you're having an anniversary where you're, eating a lot of sugar, right? Well, that means you still need to drink water and you still need to walk. So let me give you a scenario. Tomorrow is your 35th wedding anniversary. What I want you to do is celebrate by waking up and taking a walk. Drink water throughout the day because in the evening you're going to want to bust open a beer or a glass of wine. You're going to want to have a piece of cake because you're going to go out to a restaurant with your significant other. Those are beautiful things. You don't want to be that guy that says, I'm on a diet, I can't go. That's lame. Go out, enjoy yourself, get right back into our walking routine. That's why it's so cool. I'm not the only one that struggles with my weight. You guys struggle with your weight too. Well, we've got a team here. Let's do this together. In closing, there's 1 million people that right now have decided to quit their New Year's resolution. Sean, you were telling me that somewhere around the 10th through the 15th of January, more and more people nowadays are quitting their resolution. You and I have just started. We've agreed that we're going to walk for the rest of our life. And you know what that's going to create? That's going to create a situation where we live a long time. You don't want to be like my grandma, where the last 10 years of her life, her legs didn't work. Get outside and move. It builds the muscles in your legs. It helps with your skeletal growth, right? Keeps everything strong. That's the key. You want to stay healthy as long as you possibly can. And with that being said, look how quick and easy that little 25-minute walk was. Now here's the key. We were just talking about this. It's Kaizen. Don't put up your radio and go back in the house. Put some music on and keep going. You got another 20 minutes. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.